Oh, say, gentle maiden, may I be your lover? Condemn me no longer to mourn and to weep. Shot down like the hart, I lie wounded and fainting. Lower your drawbridge, I'll enter your keep. Enter your keep, nonny, nonny, enter your keep. Oh, lower your drawbridge, I'll enter your keep. Oh, alas, gentle errant, I am not a maiden. I'm married to Sir Oswald, the cunning old Celt. He's been to the wars for 12 months or longer, and taken the key to my chastity belt. Chastity belt, nonny, nonny, chastity belt. He's taken the key to my chastity belt. Fear not, gentle maiden, for I know a locksmith. To his house we'll go, on his door we will knock, and try to avail of his specialized knowledge, and see if he's able to unpick your lock. Unpick your lock, nonny, nonny, unpick your lock, and see if he's able to unpick your lock. Alas, sir and madam, to help I am unable. My specialized knowledge is to no avail. I can find the secret of your combination. The cunning old bastard has fitted a Yale, fitted a Yale, nonny, nonny, fitted a Yale. Oh, the cunning old bastard has fitted a Yale. I'm home from the war with sad news of disaster, a terrible mishap I have to confide. As I was passing the Straits of Gibraltar, I carelessly dropped the key over the side. Over the side, nonny, nonny, over the side. I carelessly dropped the key over the side. Well, alas and alack, I am locked up forever. Then up spoke the page boy, saying, leave it to me. If you will allow me to enter your chamber, I'll open you up with my duplicate key. Duplicate key, nonny, nonny, duplicate key. I'll open you up with my duplicate key. Oil the tonsils a bit. I'll finish off now before the guest comes on. The one that I'm sure you all know. Oh, the summer's in its prime. All the flowers are richly blooming, and the wild mountain thyme. Oh, the moorlands is perfuming. Will ye go, lassie, go? Come on now. And we'll all go together to pluck wild mountain thyme all around the blooming heather. Will ye go, lassie, go? I will twine for thee a bower in the deep glen, say cheery, and return wi' my spoils to the bosom o' my dearie. Will ye go, lassie, go. And we'll all go together to pluck wild mountain thyme all around the bloomin' heather. Will ye go, lassie, go? If my true love, she were gone, I would surely find another to pluck wild mountain thyme all around the bloomin' heather. Will ye go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to pluck wild mountain thyme all around the bloomin' heather. Will ye go, lassie, go? Oh, the summer time is comin', and the leaves are sweetly bloomin', and the wild mountain thyme o'er the moorlands is perfumin'. Will ye go, lassie, go? Thank you.
Right, that was Tom. As Roy remarked when he came in, Tom does a really fantastic job here. Tom Branson, our resident singer. Yeah, we'll do, because this is echoing. Now, our guest of the evening, I don't think he needs any introduction to St Andrews or to anybody who's interested at all in the folk scene. One of the finest English traditional singers I have heard. Would you welcome, please, from Nottingham, Roy Harris.
You read that beautifully, Andy.
I could hardly make out your voice.
Get your free leg. Hey, let's start with something daft like I usually do. A sailor courted a farmer's daughter that lived contagious to the town of Strabane. And with the loving melodies he besought her, all that she'd marry him before she married any other type or classification of a man. Now the farmer's daughter had fine possessions. She'd a silver teapot and 2 pounds 10 in gold. Oh, would you marry me, Miss Saltwater Sailor, if I was to wrap up all me possessions into a little bundle and throw them into the bottom of the ocean cold? I'd marry you, me heart's conchantment, if you never had nothing but your old man's curse. And so she tied up a little bundle and threw it into the bottom of the ocean cold. So ends that verse. The sailor, he could swim like a duckling, so he dived down to the bottom of the ocean cold. And he grabbed the bundle and came up chuckling, thinking of all the fun he'd have, and he got to his father's house on a farm on a hill the other side of Ballinasloe. The farmer's daughter near killed herself a-laughing, for all she put in the bundle was an old hot brick and a stone. A sailor courted a farmer's daughter, and now he wishes he'd left her alone. Good. Oh yes, very tender love story that one. And I'll take my coat off since I'm stopping. It's a little while anyway. I can tell I've been here, but like Andy said, I've been here before, over the years quite a few times. I can always tell when I've been anywhere before I come back, and there's never anybody in the front seats. Do tend to spit a little whilst I'm singing. Must admit, I like to involve the audience as much as possible. There they are, all gone, look. Never mind, though, if somebody comes in later and sits there, we'll all have a good laugh at them. That will be our secret, we'll have a quiet laugh. There. As we was sailing down in the salt sea, we We hadn't sailed a month past 2 or 3, not before we saw 10 sails of Turks, all men of war, all as big as we. Pull down the colours, you English dogs, pull down the colours, don't refuse. Pull down the colours, English dogs, or else your precious lives you'll lose. Our captain being a most valiant man, and a well-bespoken man was he, said it never will be said, we die like dogs, we'll fight this battle manfully. Climb ye lofty signal, boys, climb that mainmast topsail high, spread the news to George's fleet, we'll fight this battle or we'll die. The fight began about 6 in the morning, it went till the setting of the sun, and by the rising of the morning, out of 10 sail, we could see but one. 3 we'd sunken, boys, and 3 we had burned. 3 we caused to flee away, and 1 we carried to Portsmouth Harbour for to let 'em know we had won the day. If anyone asks you our vessel's name, and who our captain might be, Captain Well-Founder is our chief commander, and the Royal Oak is our ship by name. Oh, hello. So, ballad here to call the Royal Oak after the ship. I don't know any further than that. There must be a long history to it, but I don't really know any. So hence I just get straight into singing it. Just checking out on how the sound is coming over. Can you all hear down at the back? In the court you can. Odd luck. Never mind. I'm glad that's really nice. Sometimes the PAs are it's a bit like holding a megaphone, you know, and bellowing through that. You sound like you're on a fairground instead of in a folk club. It's really good. I just imagine it like that.
All your pennies in clear the black lines to win. Number 1, get the 10 shillings on any prize you like on the store.
Those are the days. just threw that in. No extra charge for the character acting. All right. Hey, what I want to do, I know. Instead of old songs like the 2 we just had, this one only goes back as far as 1959, which in folk standards it makes it modern. There's the story behind it goes this way. 2 guys in this town that I once lived in, they were mates of mine and living rather the same as I do, that they do anything sooner than work, and they discovered that a well-known brand of birdseed had got the seeds of the marijuana plant among its ingredients, and they thought, wow, we're up to something here, and they went around and they bought up large stocks of it, and they planted it in waste ground and bomb sites and that all around the town, see, so that in the fullness of time the sun shone down and up sprung the the plant, you know, not the budgies. The plant sprung up, and they made quite a killing for some time on the results of it until the law got its nose in. And that's the basis of what the song is about. There's a bit for you, a chorus, that I want wholehearted participation in. This is one of the more rare choruses in British folk song. It's only 2 words, and the words are Budgie Seed. Not often you get a chance to sing Budgie Seed, you know. So I would try. It goes to the tune of Wild Colonial Boy, so you get a line like da-dee-da-da-da-da-da-dum-da-da-dum, Budgie Seed, there, like that, see. Now are you ready for practice time? Here we go, everybody ready? Da-dum-da-da-da-dee-da-da-da-da-dum, Budgie Seed. Oh, that was really nice. The spray was beautiful. Really nice, that. Yeah, keep that going. The accent, you're doing the accent as well, I noticed that. It's really nice, that. So this chorus, in all its beauty, you can harmonise it and everything like that if you want to, you know. Of course, you've not got much time, but creep in there while you can. It don't come at the end of every verse, only occasional verses. So when it's coming, I'll point out at you, like that. So now's your chance, you see. So when you get pointed at, sing Budgie Seed. One sultry summer's a morning in the year of 59, two young boys speculated and conceived a strange design. They went into a pet shop and they bought some Budgie Seed, and then they found some old waste ground, they planted it indeed. Well, now the summer it grew hotter and the earth gave up its store of flowers in profusion over hedgerow, field and moor, and across the dockland bomb sites there arose a magic weed which cast its tropical branches o'er the plots of Budgie Seed. Very good. Caught me right there. I forgot what the next verse was. I'm remembering it now. At the dead of night the two young men went wandering abroad, with secateurs and pruning shears to reap a bounteous hoard. They plundered all the branches of this green and magic weed, and then went home rejoicing as they blessed the Budgie Seed. Well, the two boys quickly prospered from the properties of the shrub, by selling little quantities in many a dockland pub, until a nosy copper with a taste for botany sent samples to be tested at the police laboratory. Well, the judge at the assizes said, this is a serious case, corrupting Britain's youth and hawking pot all over the place, for desecrating bomb sites in the furtherance of greed. You'll both receive a lagging for abusing Budgie Seed. Well, the boys were snugly anchored in a cosy prison cell, but soon the screws were puzzled by a sweet exotic smell. The prison gardens burgeoned and the birds flew down to feed on scraps of juicy foliage and Capern's Budgie Seed. There we go. Budgie Seed. That actually happened, you know, there really was such an incident, and as a result of it there was a law passed prohibiting Caperns and all the other bird food makers from putting the offending seed in their bird food. In spite of protests from mass budgies nationwide, nothing could be done. There used to be, about that time on the telly, there used to be an advert showing a really spaced out, relaxed budgie and having a gentle swing on his perch, you know, and looking seraphically happy. Yeah? And it said, does your bird bounce with health? Thought that was good. Nowadays, budgies have got a very uptight look about them. You have a look at yours when you get home. They all look intense. I told you about the spitting, didn't I? But you're in a firing line. I'm going full volume so it'll land on that table behind it. You're all right. I'll aim slightly over there. Yeah, the water in the beer at this end here. Oh, I'll have to have another sip after that. Don't mind me drinking all the time. So I do so between songs and even during songs at times, you'll notice. Don't mean any harm, it's just a nervous affliction I'm blessed with. My father was one of the best drinkers I've ever met, and I learned from him. He used to buy 2 pints, or still does. He buys 2 pints at once and drinks them at the same time, like that. Knockout, man. He's got a wide mouth, you know. Really good. I said to him, why do you do that? And he said, it was ever since the accident. So I says, what accident? He said, I once had one knocked over. Fancy that. Amazing. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. God, man. What we're going to do, we're going to have a bit of a sing now. I sing a line and you sing a line. And then I sing a line and you sing your line again. Etc. And we keep going. You get alternate lines, in other words. And so do I. I sing, Emma, let me be. And your bit goes, rolling down the bay to Juliana. So try that. Rolling down the bay to Juliana. And then I sing the other line and you sing again. Rolling down the bay to Juliana. Only don't cut it off so quick. Hold on, Juliana, like that, because that gives me time to think what comes next, you see. All the ex-choir people in there, you can harmonise and sing your parts and everything there. Don't bother, the alarm and that needs water. Hey! Can't beat that, man. I really like that.
You always knew you had a loud voice, Andy, cousin.
I noticed it when he paid me last time. He opened the wallet and Britannia blinked at the light. We get the right keys and everything. And this is a shanty and does require a fair amount of volume. See, so you sing out good. Because once again, there's that spray comes forward and it's very cooling. Just get a bit warm here. Emma, let me be, roll her down the bay to Julie. Oh, Emma, let me be, roll her down the bay to Julie. Yes, the ending is smashing now. You got the ending great. The middle's not bad either. Beginning, something about this chorus always inhibits people from starting off. It's because it says roll. They don't like having a loud public roll, you see. That's the way it is. So, however, cast away your inhibitions and all sing roll good and strong so that I know you're all in. There's 52 verses, so if you haven't got it now, don't worry. Extract it. Emma, let me be, roll her down the bay to Julie. Oh, Emma, let me be, roll her down the bay to Julie. Oh, farewell, Emma, don't you cry, roll her down the bay to Julie. Oh, fare you well, me love, goodbye, roll her down the bay to Julie. Well, the morrow morn we're bound to sail, roll her down the bay to Julie. On the morrow morn a chasing whale, roll her down the bay to Julie. I heard the bosun say, roll her down the bay to Julie. At the dawn of day we'll sail away, roll her down the bay to Julie. It's Emma, won't we smile, roll her down the bay to Julie. All when we reach the winded isle, roll her down the bay to Julie. Them winded gals are hard to beat, roll her down the bay to Julie. Oh, and on the old main sheet, roll her down the bay to Julie. Why do them Judies love me so, roll her down the bay to Julie? Because I don't tell all I know, roll her down the bay to Julie. Them loud girls they roll and go, roll her down the bay to Julie. They are the girls to give a show, roll her down the bay to Julie. Well, my old mother wrote to me, roll her down the bay to Julie. Be careful, son, when you're at sea, roll her down the bay to Julie. Well, it's him, me bull, it's him, I'm high, roll her down the bay to Julie. That bloody top my sheave is dry, roll her down the bay to Julie. And the blackbird sang unto the crow, roll her down the bay to Julie. Well, up aloft the yard must go, roll her down the bay to Julie. Oh, Emma, Emma, don't you cry, roll her down the bay to Julia. Oh, fare you well, me love, goodbye, roll her down the bay to Julia. Well, Emma, fare you well, roll her down the bay to Julia. You'll always be me darling gal, roll her down the bay. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, that's it. I like that. You get frightened for a minute. There actually was 52 verses, didn't it? Sometimes it depends how I feel, because, you know, these, you make them go on for ages, these shanty ones. All the shanties that I sing tend to have the same verses. Only the choruses and the tunes vary, but the verses, you just slot them in, you know, like cassettes, you just shoot them in there, in between the verses. Oh. I don't need to be put off like some people sometimes are by my habit. In fact, a lot of us singing habits. I've got of standing singing there with the eyes shut. It's nothing personal, you know. The guy says to me, I suppose that's concentration. I said, no, it's compassion. I hate to see people suffering out there. Yeah. It all came about from one particular night. I always used to really observe the crowd and see where things were going down well and where they weren't. This classic night that was singing a very sad Irish ballad, and there's quite an atmosphere going, and a fellow at the far corner started to cry. I thought that was very nice, I was really pleased by that. I went to see him during an interval and shook his hand and said, "Are you an Irishman, sir?" And he said, "No, I'm a musician." There you are. Goes to show, doesn't it? Can't win them all, can you? So, highwayman ballad called A Saucy Bold Robber. Come all you bold fellas that goes out a tippling up parade, pay attention, give an ear to me song. I'll tell you all the story of a jolly old robber. He stood 7 feet high and in proportion quite strong. He robbed Lawyer Morgan and old Lady Dawkins, 500 bright guineas from each one of them, and as he was patrolling, a sailor come a-strolling, and it's bold like a lion, he slew it up to him. Hand over your money, my gallant young sailor, there's plenty of gold in your pocket, I know. Oh, I said the sailor, I've got a bit of money, but I'm damned if I see why I should give it to you. Well, I've just left me ship, gave the press gang the slip, and I'm bound out for London, my sweetheart to see. I've 7 shiny sovereigns to pay our sweet lodging, and I pray you, jolly robber, do leave that to me. The robber caught hold of the gallant young sailor, with a blow like a pickaxe knocked him to the ground. Oh, I said the sailor, you've hit me quite heavy. Well, now I'll endeavour to repay you in kind. Then, boys, they skipped like tigers, they tripped, and they fought into a battle like soldiers in the field. At the 42nd meeting it was a completing. This saucy old robber by the sailor was killed. The sailor looked down at the blood-stained old robber. I hope you'll forgive me, dear fellow, said he, but if I had just lifted 1,000 bright guineas, I'm damned if I'd have stopped any poor sailor like me. Right, kid. Wow, they're coming in and out. Come on, all places. Oh, you do know another bit for us all to sing on. So far, I'll point out I have not started out on my guitar, on my concertina or whatever. But I must admit I won't be doing so, because I do all my songs unarmed, as it were, like this. There's no real technical or traditional reason for it. In my case, it's merely that I can't play any, and so, it's easier, less to carry and all that. So this is why we have these choruses. One reason is to have a bit of accompaniment. One great boon about unaccompanied singing you may not have noticed. For instance, you might like an accordion, or you like a guitar or a banjo or a dulcimer or whatever. If a bloke who's singing unaccompanied, you can simply imagine it behind him, you see. And since you're all imagining your own favourite instruments, then nobody's disappointed. Rather nice. In fact, if you carry it to the extreme, if I stand here and keep my mouth shut, you can imagine the best singer you like, and better and better. I think it might be a nice idea one year, instead of actually coming here, I'd simply write down the titles on a postcard, and Annie could read them out, And he'd say 26, and we'd all wilder over, and it'd be great, eh? In fact, if he made copies and posted them all to you, you needn't even come at all. You could have your folk club and watch the telly at the same time. Revolutionise the thing, this good. I'll carry on thinking about this, man. It's all in the mind, you see, it's great. You just stand there and think it. You could have static country dancing, couldn't you? Look at this. This is a Cumberland Square 8, so you're all watching. Bloody good band, that. Really enjoyed that. Anyway, your singing bit is sing wakeful a diddle light, oh sing wakeful a diddle day. You've been dying to sing that, I know, all night. Tell you this actual fact that the first time I ever come to clubs in Scotland, and I got on a train at Edinburgh to go up to Aberdeen, and I got in a coach, and there was a mother there, and she got about 3 kids, sort of going down in stages like that, and we was talking, and someone said, where was I going? And I said I was going to sing in folk clubs, and the eldest of the kids says, what kind of stuff do you do? And I said, well, I tend to do British traditional, and he says, all that whack father diddle stuff. Yeah, it is. We're in a really knock tone of voice. I thought, bloody hell, it's right, I know. So I try to get at least one whack father diddle in everywhere we go. So that's what you sing. Have a trial. Once again, all the harmonisers come in. Diddle do do do. That'd be nice. That I like. If all the girls sing bass, that's very nice. It's lovely. The faces go red out there. I'll do it again. Sing wakeful a diddle light, oh sing wakeful a diddle day. Sing wakeful a diddle light, oh sing wakeful. Yeah, and I'll slow it down slightly. The idea of the song is that it tells you no matter what girls do to escape, young fellas will always catch them. Very reassuring sort of song. But it reassures the girls anyway. Sally, me dear, I wish I could woo you. Sally, me dear, I wish I could woo you. Well, try if you can, love, don't let it undo you. Sing wakeful a diddle light, oh, sing wakeful a diddle day. Sally, my dear, your mouth I would kiss it. Sally, my dear, your mouth I would kiss it. Well, try if you can, love, and try not to miss it. Sing wakeful a diddle light, oh, sing wakeful a diddle day. For if all them young girls were blackbirds and thrushes, if all them young girls were blackbirds and thrushes, well, all the young lads would go beating the bushes. Sing wakeful a diddle light, oh, sing wakeful a diddle day. Now if all them young girls were bricks in a pile, if all them young girls were bricks in a pile, well, all the young fellas would lay them in style. Sing wakeful a diddle light, sing wakeful a diddle day. And if all the young girls were bells in a tower, if all the young girls were bells in a tower, along would come fellas to bang on the hour. Sing wakeful a diddle light, oh, sing wakeful a diddle day. Sally, me dear, I wish I could woo ya. Sally, me dear, I wish I could woo ya. Well, try if you can, love, don't let it undo you. Sing wakeful a diddle light, oh, sing wakeful a diddle day. Sally, my dear. Always gets them going that. I'm never quite sure how to treat it, you know, whether it's serious or whether it's spicy or whatever it is. There's a couple of modern verses in there, I dare say I've spotted which they were. How are you doing for time, mate? Ah! You're giving me the signal. You see that? You're never quite sure when you get the sign for 2 more songs to go. You're either getting peace or you're getting Harvey Smith. Very puzzling, especially when they usually stand right at the end of the club room and give you this sign. And I'm short-sighted anyway, so I can't really be sure. one bloke, the classic night, a bloke was giving me 3 like that. He was going 3. I thought, right, 1 for your mate. Yeah, that's yeah. Amazing, isn't it? What if they just give you 1? That means you're not worth 2. Fantastic. How hard though. It's the bells again. How are we doing? How many have we got to go? Nearly there? I'm enjoying this. Really nice, isn't it? What key's them bells in? Silent. Oh, I've just done that one. Yeah. That was an English love song, I dare say. Somewhat cobbled together, different versions from all over. You notice a lot of the songs you get are quite long, but not all of them. We've got some short songs that put the story in a nutshell. One of my favourites like this is a little love song from Tyneside, which is very explicit in its story, and it goes this way. My lad's a cunning lad, he works down the pit. He never comes to see me unless he wants a bit fairly short. You know, you don't always need a long song, you know. I love that one that Tom Paxton did about the American vice president, as was, the one that's just retired, kicked out, Spiky Andrew, whatever his name is. But it was when he first came in and nobody had heard of him or anything, and Tom wrote, I'll sing of Spider Wagonoo and the things that he has done. Hell of a good song, really, when you come to think about it. He has a lot of bad luck, though, I must admit. Yeah. You tell me, what terrible luck the bloke has, you know. His house caught fire a short while back and burned it all down. His entire library was burnt to the ground. Both books went, just like that. Shame, really, because he'd just finished colouring one of them in, you know. I'm going to finish now. Finish with this one. Yes, I'll finish with this one. As I was walking down Paradise Street to Millway, hey, below the man. That one. We'll do that one, right? Now you know what to do. You don't come in on it. As I was walking down Paradise Street to Millway, hey, below the man. Well, a flash-looking packet that she answered me to give me some time to blow the man. She's rough at the counter, she's bluffed and about to Millway, hey, below the man. And she said, my young Jack, slip along with me now, give me some time to blow the man. I give her me hawser and took her in tow to Millway, hey, below the man. And it's yard arm together we go, give me some time to blow the man. She opened her cabin with plenty of room to Millway, hey, blow the man. Well, I locked Jack the lob in the jib boom, give me some time to blow the man. Oh, said me fair maiden, it's time to give o'er to Millway, hey, below the man. Oh, it's 2 weeks of wind and water, you've run me a shore, give me some time to blow the man. My shot lock is empty, my bombshells are spent to Millway, hey, blow the man. And I can't find me cannon, the muzzle's all bent, give me some time to blow the man. Here's to the girl with the black curly locks to Millway, hey, blow. And here's to the girl, run Jack on the rocks, give me some time to blow the man. So it's below the man, down bullies below. Tell me wait last time, hey, below the man. And below him right back to Liverpool town, give me some time to blow the man down.
Just been put off because the boy that sings with me, usually, and plays mandolin and tenor banjo has just arrived, and we're not in tune. I doubt. This is one called Postcards of Scarborough. It's an English song. Just there's a special favour for the English singer tonight. Two postcards of Scarborough to keep in my mind, to hide the way down there, help me remind myself of time past and time passing, myself of time past and time passing. I took a trip to paradise just like we did before, but it doesn't seem like paradise to me anymore. So different from when we are together, so different from when we are together. Because the wine was so tasteless and the food was so stale, and I looked in the mirror and my face was so pale. And I walked down by the harbour just to catch a bite to eat, with the folks along the quay and the seagulls at my feet. They remind me of when we are together. They remind me of when we are together. And I sleep in the same room and the walls are so white, there's no one to warm me in the cool of the night. So different from when we are together, so different from when we are together. Because the wine was so tasteless and the food was so stale, and I looked in the mirror and my face was so pale. And so different from when we are together, so different from when we are together. But has to do another one. This is a Ralph McTell song. It's not really all that well known. It's called The Mermaid and the Seagull. Well, I'm listening to your idle talk, smoke dripping to the ceiling, and I'm watching the words go float on by, and I think you know the feeling. And I stared into my empty glass, noticed the bar clock was 10 minutes fast. Well, my drink was gone and my money is spent, and I think it's about time that I went. I went walking along the main road, how can they call it High Street? and I bumped into a face I knew, but he had someone to meet. And then I noticed that the tide was coming in. Thought I felt like taking a swim, but the sea gets wild, so I've been told. Anyway, it was much too cold. So I buttoned my coat up to my chin, I went walking along the sand, and I thought I heard a mermaid sing to the sound of a big brass band. A seagull offered me a ride, so as not to hurt his pride. I said I wasn't going far, and I let him carry my guitar. Then along came a mermaid singing a song, so stopped the band from playing. And I was pleased and I played with ease to the mermaid's gentle swaying. Must have stayed there for an hour or so. Seagull said he'd have to go. Well, the mermaid said that she'd rather hear more, but she left me standing on the shore. Well, the sun was sinking in the sea, right on the waterline. And I shouted goodbye, but he didn't reply, and I know he had no time. Even my footprints had disappeared, and as for the path I steered out of the sea, there came a sigh. I think my mermaid said goodbye. So I'm listening to your idle talk, smoke drifting to the ceiling, and I'm watching the words go float on by, and I know you know the feeling. Thank you.
Right then, that was Jim Knight. By the way, I just noticed, if by any chance you should lose it, and I don't think you will, but if you should lose it, if any of you finds half a tree trunk with a ring in the end and a little key, it's Roy's room key. You want to see the... Look at it. Oh, God. Had advertising Scottish timber, but that's ridiculous. Anyway, to carry on with this bit, one of our resident singers who just returned from the States and seems to have done him a bit good. He's looking even more beautiful. He's using a different shade of lipstick and things like that. And his perfume has definitely got better. He is. Well, you're welcome, Jim Watson.
Hi. Well, I'm gonna do one of my old faves. I like James Taylor, you see, and I sing a lot of his songs. Not as good as he does, but this is one called Blossom, which I'm sure a lot of you will know.
Blossom, smile, some sunshine down my way. Lately I've been lonesome. Blossom, it's been much too long a day. It seems my dreams have frozen, melt my cares away. Now send the sunshine down my way whenever you call my name. I know what you mean to say to me, girl, it's all the same. Blossom, there's an empty road behind. Sit you down beside me. Blossom, there's a sweet dream on my mind. There's a song inside me. Take these chains away. Now send the sunshine down my way whenever you call my name. I know what you mean to say to me, girl, it's all the same. Blossom, smile some sunshine down my way. Lately I've been lonesome. Blossom, it's been much too long a day. It seems my dreams have frozen, melt my cares away. La 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 la.
Here's a traditional one. This I think is traditional. And I'm sure a lot of you will know it. It's quite popular in this folk club and a lot of others. Good chorus to it. Twa recruiting sergeants come frae the Black Watch. The markets and fairs some recruits for to catch, and all that they had listed was the 40 and twa. So list my bonny laddies and come awa, and it's over the mountains and over the main, through Gibraltar to France and Spain. Get a feather to your bonnet and the kilt up in your knee. Come list my bonny laddies and come awa with me. Oh laddie, you dinna ken the danger that you're in, if your horses was to plague and your housing was to rin. This greedy old farmer, he winna pay a fee. So list my bonny laddies and come awa with me, and it's over the mountains and over the main, through Gibraltar to France and Spain. Get a feather to your bonnet and the kilt up in your knee. Come list my bonny laddies and come awa with me. It is into the barn and do to the byre. This old farmer thinks she'll never ever tire, for it's a slavery job, yes, a job of low degree. So list my bonny laddies and come awa with me, and it's over the mountains and over the main, through Gibraltar to France and Spain. Get a feather to your bonnet and the kilt up in your knee. Come list my bonny laddies and come awa with me. We are tatty puddings and your meal and care, your sour sorn soons and your ill-brewed ale. We are buttermilk and whey and your breed fire draw. Come list my bonny laddies and come awa, and it's over the mountains and over the main, through Gibraltar to France and Spain. Get a feather to your bonnet and the kilt up in your knee. Come list my bonny laddies and come awa with me. Oh laddie, if you've got a sweetheart and a bairn, you'll easily get rid of that ill-spun churn. 'Twa rattles o' the drum and that'll pay it all. Come list my bonny laddies and come awa, and it's over the mountains and over the main, through Gibraltar to France and Spain. Get a feather to your bonnet and the kilt up in your knee. Come list my bonny laddies and come awa with me.
smaller floors, yeah. I hate big. Time being what it is, and the bar closing here at 10 o'clock, we come to the second interval. Give you a chance to get your drinks in so we can start bang on 10 o'clock. After the interval, we've got a visit from one of the fine singers around the business, a lad called Andy Ramage, who used to be with the Bit of Withy. He's now doing great things on his own, and of course, Roy Harris.
Last week you had a tremendous bill on. Unfortunately, because the Aberdeen Festival, I was very, very late in coming down. However, I did notice a lot of the people who were on. And one of the people who was on was a fellow called John Watt, who's an extremely prolific, it's difficult to say that when you've had a few pints, an extremely prolific songwriter. And he wrote a song called Celtic Clippy, which tells of the delights of the bus conductresses in Fife and surrounding areas. This is a song. It has a chorus. She's just a Celtic Clippy, she'll no tak nae advice. It's ach drap deed, I will bile your head or I'll punch your ticket twice, etc. I've travelled round this country, frae shore to shining shore, frae the swamps o' Ochterdarin to the jungles o' Loch Orr. But in all this far-flung country, there's none that can compare wi' my Lily o' Lumphanin. She's my bonny Maggie Blair. Ah, she's just a Celtic Clippy, she'll no tak nae advice. It's ach drap deed, I will bile your head or I'll punch your ticket twice. Our father's just a waster, our mother's on the game. She's just a Celtic Clippy, but I love her just the same. Frae the pyramids up in Kelty to the mansions in Glencraig, we've roamed the hills together, wi' monies a blithe Stravig, seen the moon rise over Crossall, trod Buckhaven shining sands, and many's a happy hour we spent in Loch Gelly's happy lands. Oh, she's just a Celtic Clippy, she'll no tak nae advice. It's ach drap deed, I will bile your head or I'll punch your ticket twice. Our father's just a waster, our mother's on the game. She's just a Celtic Clippy, but I'll love her just the same. Well, I met her on the 8:15, that nicht o' romantic bliss. Says I, ho mag, put down your bag and gi'se a wee bit kiss. But she didn't tak that kindly, no, she didn't like my chaff. And being a contrary sort of lass, she says, come on, get off. She's just a Celtic Clippy, she'll no tak nae advice. It's ach drap deed, I will bile your head or I'll punch your ticket twice. Our father's just a waster, our mother's on the game. She's just a Celtic Clippy, but I'll love her just the same. Now she hasn't got any culture, she near drives me round the bend. She sits on nicht in her wee armchair, reading the People's Friend. Her lapels are full of badges frae the Butlin's camp of air, and she gangs to the bingo every night with a curler still in her hair. Oh, she's just a Celtic Clippy, she'll no tak nae advice. It's ach drap deed, I will bile your head or I'll punch your ticket twice. Our father's just a waster, our mother's on the game. She's just a Celtic Clippy, but I'll love her just the same. But things are looking better now, 'cause I went and I got the ring. I won it for Big Andy at the pitch and toss last night by the Lindsay Bing. Where wee black hat and her ticket machine, she did my heart and snare. She's my Lily O'Lumphin, she's my bonny Maggie Blair. She's just a Celtic Clippy, she'll no tak nae advice. It's after I've did a wop bile your head and I'll punch your ticket twice. Her father's just a waster, her mother's on the game. She's just a Celtic Clippy, but I love her just the same. There's a great many assorted songs in Scotland which are not dirty songs. We tend to use the word body to cover them because it's a much nicer word than dirty, you see. So the next song is one in this vein. It's about this fella who's got loads of money, who goes prancing over the prairie on his horse and sees this young maiden and says, I'm going to lie with you, for want of a better word. And he lies with her, and she comes awfully fat around the waist, around the belly, and he eventually ends up marrying her. It's an awfully nice song. We had an awfully nice ending. I wish it happened to me. It's called the Laird of Dainty Doonby, and that's a sort of refrain type thing at the end of every verse. A bonny lass was milking her feathers kye, a gentleman on horseback he come riding by, a gentleman on horseback he come riding by, it was the Laird of the Dainty Doonby. Lassie, oh lassie, if it would you day, gin I was to lie ae nicht wi ye, to lie ae nicht that'll never, never be, suppose you're Laird of the Dainty Doonby. He's ta'en her by the middle sea sma, and laid her doon where the grass grew lang. 'Twas a lang, lang time till they raised her up again, saying, your lady of the Dainty Doonby. Early next morning, it was a summer's day, some siller for rent her father had to pay, some siller for rent her father had to pay, to the Laird of the Dainty Doonby. Good morning to you, sir, and how do you do? And how is your daughter Janety the new? How is your daughter Janety the new, since I laid her in the Dainty Doonby? My daughter Janety, she's no very well. My daughter Janety, she's looking anca pale. My daughter Janety, she gowks at her kale, since she laid her in the Dainty Doonby. He's ta'en her by the lily white hand, and shown all the rooms they were 21. Well, he placed the key into her hand, saying, your lady of the Dainty Doonby. Oh, says the old man, and fit will we dee. Oh, says the old wife, we'll dance till we dee. Oh, says the old man, I think I'll do that too. Now she's lady of the Dainty Doonby. That was just to prove that it's not only England that can produce unaccompanied singers. Isn't that right, Roy? Where did he go? Where did he go? Oh, there he is. He's a lovely chappie, actually. So they tell me. I always get nervous when I have to do a song that I've never sort of done before, and especially one which has been so hurriedly put together. I'm very fortunate in Perth that with a wee bit of adjusting I can manage to get radio television which is Irish radio. And television, yes, it is indeed. In fact, they're one and the same, like BBC radio and BBC television, yes. How clever. And, oh, you threw me right off my stride now. Had it all worked out as well. Now, you see, Radio Ireland have what we don't have on BBC radio, and that is skiffies. At least we call them skiffies in Edinburgh. I suppose you might call them advertisements or the likes. You know how when you're watching STV, the big star comes shooting out at you, and you have an advert of some kind or other. Well, they have this on Irish radio. Like a big star doesn't come shooting out because it's not got a screen, but you can imagine it because they have these breaks for record shows. And this certain Ace record company always finish off the show with the Emmett Spiceland group singing Mary of Dunloe. And what I've done is I've listened to the radio every week for the past month, and I've got one line every night and written down the words to this song called Mary of Dunloe. So we'll see how it works out. It's an awfully lovely song anyway. So fairly well, sweet Donegal, the Rossies and Gweedores. I'm crossing the wide ocean where the foaming billows roar. It breaks my heart from you to part, where we spent many happy days. Farewell to kind relations, I'm bound for America. Well, I wish I was in sweet Dunloe and seated on the grass, and by my side a bottle of wine, and on my knee a lass. I'd call for liquor of the best, and I'd pay before I go, and I'd roll my Mary in my arms in the town of sweet Dunloe. Ah, then Mary, you're my heart's delight, my joy and only care. It was your cruel father would not let me stay there, but absence makes the heart grow fond, and when I am far away, I'll think on lovely Mary, and I'll return someday. Smashing song. see, before fetching back on Roy Harris. I was brought up, really, although I sort of lived in Edinburgh for a long time, I was brought up in Somerset. I can't help it, you know, I was awfully young at the time. I didn't care what was happening to me. And we lived in this farm, and the farm was owned by a fella called Farmer Biggins. And he had this fantastic store of songs which related to the southwest country. So I'm going to do a few of them. First one goes slightly like this. It goes. Where be that blackbird be? I know where he be. He be up yon wurzel tree, and I be artery. Well, he sees I, and I sees he with a bloody stick out clobbery. Blackbird, I love he. Be I Bristol, be I buggery. I comes up from Wareham, where all the girls wear calico drawers, and I knows how to tear 'em. Where be that blackbird be? I know where he be. He be up yon wurzel tree, and I be artery. Well, he sees I, and I sees he with a bloody stick out clobbery. Blackbird, I love he. Be I Bristol, be I buggery. I comes up from Buckingham. We takes the girls down by the lake and spends the evening ducking 'em. Where be that blackbird be? I know where he be. He be up yon wurzel tree, and I be artery. Well, he sees I, and I sees he with a bloody stick out clobbery. Blackbird, I love he. Well, it fell about a summer's day, the 20th of May, just trying to took his term on with it such a way. The sun defines his making, and some defines his mowing. But of all the trees are less, but gives I the term owen. For the fly be under terma, and it be all me eye for I to try to keep fly up the terma. That was the chorus. And it be all me eye for I to try to keep fly up the termite. Well, the first I went from a tower, if I'd been swearing in the glade, there was the first I own. Next time I went to a two for the job, but if I'd known day for something to go on, for the fly be on the termite, and it be all me eye for I to try to keep fly up the termite. Well, the last days I went for the same mowing, I said to her back that rather than sat and lose my termite owen. So come now, gallop boys, by now one, I now concludes my ditty with wishing no harm, for the fly be on the termite, and it be all me eye for I to try to keep fly off the termite. Send you back to Andy.
Translations are available at 10 pence. Oh, come on. You know, I spent 6 years down in Somerset. And it just dawned on me why I couldn't understand what the people were saying. They're all talking about the flies and the whatnots, you know. No comment. Right then, the high spot of the evening. After that, it must be the high spot. You hit a new low. Andrew? Right then, would you welcome back our guest singer, as I said before, a very fine singer, Roy Harris.
Okay. Right. We changed. Well, just a minute, I'll close that one out. Very versatile drinker, actually. Look at this. Left-handed. How's that? Put it over there. That was a fine cultural bit Andy just did there. Really like that Shakespearean stuff. It's There once was a country fellow, and he left his country home, and he went into the city for to seek employment. And he promised his aged mother he'd lead a quiet life, and always shun the evil curse of drink. The curse of drink. I'm in the right place. You got the idea where to come in there, and that musical bit, you see. Just like my choir over there, specially trained. I've had them hanging upside down in an attic all week, learning the words. It's an odd thing when you hang people upside down in an attic, the state of the roof, you know. Shocking. I'll have a job to clean up. No. It's good that it gets around gradually. Hey, it goes like that. Realisation is creeping in all around it. You join hands and link hands with the living, okay? There once was a country fella, and he left his country home, and he went into the city for to seek employment. Well, he promised his aged mother he'd lead a quiet life and always shun the evil curse of drink. Melodious. When he came into the city, he found employment in the quarry, and there he fell in with some college men. Little did he know that they were demons, for they wore the best of clothes, but clothes do not always make a gentleman. A gentleman. One day with his newfound colleagues he was invited out to dine, and sitting in the Chinese restaurant they persuaded him to take a drink. Well, they persuaded and persuaded, but he refused and refused, till at length he fell, and he took a glass of beer. A glass of beer. Horace. When he thought what he had done, he dashed the liquor to the floor, and he staggered out the door in delirious treatments. And standing on the corner, he saw the Salvation Army lassie. And cruelly he burst her tambourine. Her tambourine. All she said was, "Heaven bless you," and made a mark upon his brow with a kick she learned in the days before she was saved. So, young men, what hears this story? Shun the evil curse of drink, and don't go bursting a ladies' tambourines. Their tambourines. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. See, we have a sophisticated crowd in here tonight now that appreciate the higher things of life. Really, it's knockout. Like I only told you, being billeted here is fantastic. They gave me the key to the door, and to be sure that I didn't lose it, they gave me the doorpost as well. Look at that, fantastic. I'll be all right if I need a fire during the night anyway. I'll have to put it down because I'm leaning over with it in my pocket. It's number 3, ladies. Form a queue on the right. Just take my coat off again. Oh, God. Yeah. There we go. Hey! By God, if you'd ever seen me nude, you wouldn't say that. Look like a suet pudding that's been dropped on a coconut matting. But I'm not about to prove it. The sight's too strong. The late night horror movies on the telly, not in here. God, blimey. What a thought, what a thought. This song here. All over the foggy dew, dew, dew. All over the foggy dew. When I was young and in me prime and following a roving trade, all the hum that ever I'd done was in courting a servant maid. I courted her all summer season, part of the winter too. Many's the time I rolled me low, all over the foggy dew, dew, dew. All over the foggy dew. One night as I lay on me bed and taking of a pleasant sleep, This fair young maiden, she come to see me, and most bitterly did she weep. She wept and moaned and tore her hair, crying out, what shall I do? Tonight I'm resolved to lay with you, for fear of the foggy dew, dew, dew. For fear of the foggy dew. Oh, the first part of the night, how we did sport and play. And in the latter part of the night, well, it's in me arms she lay. When broad daylight it did appear, she cried out, what have I done? Hold your tongue, you foolish girl, for the foggy dew is gone, gone, gone. For the foggy dew is gone. I've loved that girl with all my heart. I've loved her as I loved my life. And in the latter part of the year, she became another man's wife. Never have I told him of her faults, damned be if I do. But many's the time as she passes me by, I remember the foggy dew, dew, dew. I remember the foggy dew. It's South Australia I was born, hey ho, I hollow. It's South Australia round Cape Horn, we're bound to South Australia. All away, you rolling kings, hey ho, I. All away, you'll hear me sing, we're bound to South Australia. Now I walked out on the morning fair, hey ho, I. And there I met with Nancy Blair, all bound to South Australia. All away, you rolling kings, hey ho, why? All away, you'll hear me sing, we are bound to South Australia. It's only that grieves me mind, hey ho, why? Leaving Nancy Blair behind, all bound to South Australia. All away, rolling kings, heave away, all away, you'll hear me sing, we're bound to South Australia. And when we sail around Cape Horn, heave away, we wish to Christ we'd never been born, we're bound to South Australia. All away, rolling kings, heave away, all away, you'll hear me sing, we're bound to South Australia. And it's when who will see there nobody knows, heave away. Perhaps we'll meet Sir Alec Rose when we're bound to South Australia. All away, rolling kings, heave away, all away, you'll hear me sing, we're bound for South Australia. And when we saw Sir Alec Rose, heave away, he was swinging in the rigging and a-picking his nose, we're bound for South Australia. All away, rolling kings, heave away, all away, you'll hear me sing, we're bound for South Australia. And I wish you was on Australian strand, heave away, with a jar of grog all in me hand and bound for South Australia. All the way you're rolling kings, hey away. All the way you'll hear me sing, we're bound for South Australia. Here's one more time and that'll do, hey away. We are the boys to kick her through, we're bound for South Australia. Last time. All the way you're rolling kings, hey away. All the way you'll hear me sing, well bound for South Australia. South Australia. Well done. There is somebody here that was here when I was at St Andrews last time, and he was noticing, he said, I see you've grown a moustache. So it's part of the identity change, you see. See my car, it's a fantastic sight nowadays. I've painted it. All down one side it's blue, and all down the other side it's yellow. Looks horrible, really does. What I like to do, I like to hear the witnesses contradict each other. It's really nice. Really good, that. Really good. Keep rolling my sleeve up. Catches on my wrist there. One more sip again. I love that story about the pretzel hole. That was really something else, you know. The thought of it sent shivers right through me, actually. A fella that I know by profession is a barber. His wife took rather ill and she was diagnosed as having appendicitis. She had to go into hospital, of course. The day before she was due to go in, it would be more precise, the night before she was due to go in, the barber said to her, they've got to shave you for this operation. I said, I don't really like the idea of them shaving you, especially in this intimate place. So I'll do it for you. I'm a professional in the job anyway. And so she makes ready and he gets out this lather and this brush and gives it a good lather in and takes his razor and a deep breath and starts to shave away. It was really good, except he got the one tricky bit and he said, you've seen me shave in the morning, haven't you? She says, yeah. He says, right, well, can you do that? That'll get around later as well. Was in the prime of summertime when barley was a-raking. Harvest time it was coming along, the hay was ready making. A loving couple met that day, they began to sport and play. They did not think it much astray all over the barley raking. When 30 weeks they was over and past, this fair maid she was sighing. When 40 weeks they were over and past, this fair maid she was crying. Sent a letter to her love, bidding him to constant prove. Conjured him by the stars above, remember the barley raking. Well, when the letter unto him come, he read it o'er and over. He let it go by, it was all in vain, because he was a rover. A message he sent back again, telling her it's all in vain. Have no fear and feel no pain, forget the barley raking. Well, I have as fine a pair of shoes as e'er were made of leather. I'll tip up me beaver over me nose, I'll face the wintry weather. When that I have run me race, if I find no better place, I'll come back and seek your face all over the Ballyrakin. Oh, when that I have run me race, if I find no better place, well, I'll come back, I'll seek your face all over the Ballyrakin. I'll do a quiet one now and again. Ballyrakin there. Song here on an unusual topic. It don't go back very long either. Only go back about 5 years this. So I need to explain what led to the making up of such a song as this. It all took place out in Norfolk, where there's a place there called Heechum Beach. Heechum Beach is privately owned, and it seems that one night the private owner was out having a private look at it, and he discovered a couple of blokes publicly poaching upon it. What they was doing was collecting the mussels from off the shore to take home and have for their tea. And he didn't take too kindly to this public pinching of his private mussels. And so he had them up. By God, you're 3 verses in front. He had them up in front of the beak, and this very intense legal battle took place, which was reported in the paper, and Wag at the local folk club saw it and made a song up about it. It seems that the defence for the 2 fellows that were prosecuted worked it this way. They disputed the fellow's rights to the wildlife upon the land. They said, OK, he owns the land, it's his, but he don't own the wildlife on it. So it had to be proven what they were doing was taking away wildlife, see? In other words, is there such a thing as a wild mussel? That was the case at point, and that had to be proven. And it is a fairly obscure legal point. They went to the lengths, they had the judge and all his mates from the bench, went down to the beach there in company with a famous naturalist to examine these particular creatures to see whether they were the wild or domesticated variety of mussel. And that's the facts in the case. That's the facts in the song. The facts fly out the window after verse 1. We hear that one of the chief movers in the case has false teeth, which he puts to a spectacular use. So you're about to be regaled by a mussel and false teeth song. There aren't many mussel and false teeth songs knocking about, I must admit. It's fairly rare. Just have one sip and then I'll tell you. Well, this is the story of it. Come all you dry land sailormen that ploughs the angry sea. It's a story I will tell to you, it's a tale of piracy, of how the mussels won the day and the judge was put to flight, and of the terror that lurks on Heechum Beach in the calm of a summer's night. How wild is a mussel? That was where the verdict lay. Well, the court adjourned and the bench went down to the beach that very same day. There's the judge there with his trousers rolled up leading the courtly band, and the mussels lay all silent and black a-lurking on the sand. Well, our Charlie, he was not the one to give up without a struggle. So he slips the dentures from his mouth and he jams them into a mussel. When the judge bent down, the mussel struck. There's a scream like a lion's roar, and Justice Lane, with a face full of pain, went limping off the shore. Now the case was won, but the joke was turned, for the teeth went off with the tide. So beware, you courting couples, when you're down at the old seaside. For when your ardour's at its height, and you're laid there on the shore, the teeth will flash in a mighty gnash, and the mussels strike once more. Oh, blimey. Amazing thought, that, an amazing thought. In the song of the female drummer, which I'm about to sing now, you have to use your imagination, because the person that's speaking in it, in other words me, that's singing it, is a 16-year-old girl, right? Exactly. So just use your imagination for a little while. I'm giving up taking them tablets, I tell you that. And you're singing on this. However, the first verse ends, watch that bit, and then carry on and sing all the other verse endings in the same manner. Once again, plenty of verses, so no need to worry if you haven't got it at the start. It works well with a nice foot tap and a fast bat in the eyelashes, and then participation is all, you see. The female drummer. I'm going to be a soldier in a uniform quite new, and if they'll let me have a drum, I'll be a drummer too. I'll rush into the battlefield, a broadsword in me hand, to hear the cannons rattle and the music sound so grand. The music sounds so grand, the music sounds so grand, to hear the cannons rattle and the music sounds so grand. Excuse me, we'll start it again. One, because now you've had a listen how it really goes, and another because I was belching just then and couldn't continue. Oh, it's going through me, this is. I don't like beer, really. I'll be glad when I've had enough. Hold on. So now we know. We'll kick off with it this time. I'm going to be a soldier in a uniform quite new, and if they'll let me have a drum, I'll be a drummer too. I'll rush into the battlefield with a broadsword in me hand, to hear the cannons rattle and the music sounds so grand. The music sounds so grand, the music sounds so grand, to hear the cannons rattle and the music sounds so grand. Oh, it's when I was a young girl, my age it was 16. From me home I ran away to go and serve the Queen. An officer enlisted me, said, "You are a nice young man. I think you'll make a drummer, so just step this way, young man. Just step this way, young man. Just step this way, young man. I think you'll make a drummer, so just step this way, young man." Now he led me to me quarters, he lit me up to bed, laying by a soldier's side I never was afraid. Pulling off me old red coat, I often had to smile, to think myself a drummer, yet a female all the while. A female all the while. Keep it going, I'll have a drink. A female all the while, to think myself a drummer, yet a female all the while. They sent me down to London for to be God on the Tower, and there I would have stayed till this very day and hour, till a young girl fell in love with me. She found I was a maid. She went straightway to my officer, my secret betrayed. My secret betrayed. My secret betrayed. She went straightway to my officer, my secret betrayed. Now the officer he sent for me to see if this were true, and I thought to deceive him a tale already knew. There's a pension for your reward. He smiled as he said, "It's a pity we should lose you, such a drummer as you made. A drummer as you made. A drummer as you made. It's a pity we should lose you, such a drummer as you made." Fare you well, me officer, you have been kind to me. Fare you well, me comrades, forgot you ne'er shall be. Should that British army fall short of any man, I'll put on me cap and feather and I'll beat the drum again. I'll beat the drum again. I'll beat the drum again. I'll put on me cap and feather and I'll beat the drum again. Female drummer. Female drummer, there's Seems like historically there are lots of cases of that kind of thing happening years and years ago. These lasses wanted to join the army or the navy for some reason. They would just clip their hair and put on men's clothing and in they would go. I don't know how they managed it. You know, medical standards must have been different in them days. But they did. There's an actual case, the most celebrated case was a lady called Hannah Reid, who joined the navy and served them faithfully for 17 years. And she was never found out, or nobody let on anyway. 17 years she was in. She finally invalided out by a gunshot wound in a battle. Hannah Reid. Amazing woman. Can't think why she wanted to do it, but she did. There we are. A gentle little song here, which comes from Elizabethan times. There's two fellas talking. One, it seems, is wearing a sprig of willow in his hat, a willow tree, and this meant then that you were sad about something or other when you put willow branches about you. Don't mean it now. It means you're a Morris dancer or something like that. But this was then. And the song is just their conversation. How now, shepherd, what means that? Why wear willows in thy hat? Is thy cap of red and yellow changed to branches of green willow? That is changed, and so have I. Sorrows live when joys did die. It be Phyllis only she that makes me wear the willow tree. Come now, shepherd, let us join, for thy love be like to mine. Wherein her I thought most true has also changed me for a new. Shepherd, if thy hat be so, thou art partners of my woe. Thy ill hap doth mine appease, company the sorrow ease. Shepherd, be thou ruled by me, there lies grief with the willow tree. For thy sorrow her content, and she is pleased if thou lament. Shepherd, be thou ruled by me, cast away the willow tree. Henceforth we shall be as they that have a new love every day. Shepherd, be thou ruled by me, cast away the willow tree. Henceforth we shall be as they that have a new love every day.
Lovely.
Anyway, the powers that be say that's it. Time is come. 11 o'clock is caught up on us. We should have been on for 1:45. They give us 10 minutes extra time. You put your hands together. Roy Harris.